Saga made it. Saga made it. Shananigans. What you gonna be? Shenanigans. What you gonna see? Shenanigans. Best podcast on the East. Shenanigans. Yeah, running through the streets. Shenanigans. Yeah, what you wanna be? Shenanigans. It's shenanigans. 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 Went to Walmart. Shenanigans. Got a Target. Shenanigans. Shit. Shenanigans. Shenanigans. Shenanigan podcast. Best on the network. Shenanigan podcast. The internet network.
Well, hello. We are back. It's been a long time. Sorry that I haven't gotten to do this. Sorry, I'm going to adjust my cameras. I'm a loser. So I've got my buddy Russ here today. Oh, say hi, Russ.
Hello, everyone.
Pull that mic nice and close to you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Anyways, so today we were going to talk a little bit about the old cryptocurrency and some of the goods and bads that we've found with it throughout the last, what, 6? Has it been? I thought it was 2016.
Well, you tried to tell me about it back then, and I was like, remember, who are you going to hold accountable?
Yeah.
I was skeptical about it for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. 2019, I guess, is when I ended up starting into it.
Yeah, I heard about it in like 2008-ish, and I told Jen, I was like, man, we need to find out what this stuff is, and never really paid much attention. So, years later, I had a customer come buy something from me, and he had a bunch of crypto, and that's how I learned, and he got me all excited, and now it's just all been downhill since there. And so you've invested quite a bit so far, haven't you?
Yeah, and I'm going to still continue to invest. I think I have about 55,000 US dollars invested in cryptocurrency so far.
That's a lot. So I think the one thing that you and I have agreed on, the reason why we like the crypto over the stocks is because you've never seen a 300% or a 500% return on investment with a stock. I mean, I've never seen it. And have you ever seen anything like that?
No.
I thought 60% was pretty awesome.
Right. But also the downside of that is the swing when it goes down. But of course, if you don't cash out, you don't realize that loss. But I mean, it could be up 45% in a day and then down 35% in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an 80% swing. But because of the fact it's such a new asset class, it is not really a new asset class because it's been around 2008, 2009.
I think 06 is when they came up with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge track history. Of course, we all know that the government doesn't quite like it because if you go with the decentralized, they don't get their hand in it, they can't control it. And I think that's one of the reasons why it is so appealing to the people because of the fact that the people can't manipulate it as far as once it gets really a foothold into it. It's peer-to-peer.
Well, you'd hope. It sounds to me like they're trying to do it as we speak. I don't remember who it was, but there's been one or two different, besides America, countries that are trying to do the same thing with their Bitcoin. They're trying to create their own for their citizens or whatever so they can get into the market. And of course, this comes on the heels of BlackRock and everyone being like, don't buy crypto, don't buy this stuff. They don't want you to own anything, dude. Like, if the government says don't do something, you might want to find out, number one, why, and then number two, how to do it. Because I have a feeling that every time they say that, it's to insulate the powers and money from the poor like us and never give us an opportunity to achieve those levels. So America's designed so the poor can start as poor and end as wealthy. The problem is these guys have, you've all played the game Monopoly, and we've all said the word monopoly, but our true monopoly is basically putting a ceiling on the poor. That's what I think.
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, you want to think that our government's going to do the right thing for us. However, history has shown us that they're not doing the right thing for us, and probably won't unless we hold them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of ironic because you mentioned BlackRock and asset manager. You got Larry Fink, who originally said that cryptocurrency was basically the devil, kind of like weed.
Right.
We all know that's not. So now all of a sudden he's flipped the script and
Right.
he's saying that it's digital gold. So and they have an application in for an exchange traded fund in the form of Bitcoin.
Weird.
Wow,
That's
imagine
amazing.
that.
So last week is y'all shouldn't buy this crazy shit because it's all your money is gonna go away. As they buy up a bunch and be like, here, you should buy some crypto. This stuff's the best. And I knew this was coming. As soon as I realized there was regular people making money, that's when I was like, oh, so they haven't figured out how to stop this one yet? And I got a feeling, man, they're going to be working on it every day until they can.
Well, you got the SEC's trying to keep it down. They've already denied the application. Not only did BlackRock, but Fidelity and all the other asset managers filed for an ETF because they're like, what is BlackRock? No. So, of course, BlackRock's application got shot down because they hadn't partnered with an exchange. Well, now they resubmitted and partnered with Coinbase, which is publicly traded.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any reason why they can shoot it down. So what had happened was Grayscale here just recently, they had filed for an ETF as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it got shot down. The SEC denied it. However, the Federal Appeals Court issued a ruling saying to vacate that decision.
I bet you it was ethics.
Oh, well.
I mean, the reason why they
there's
shot.
no reason why you have to or why you should. There's no legitimate reason why they should deny that application. So,
Ethics is why.
That's
Because
kinda
someone
bad.
was like, nah, I think you guys are doing some weird shit with it.
So, one would think that, so keeping that in mind, that BlackRock and Fidelity's, they're a second application because should get approved just like that, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
However, with the SEC being like they are, they've just conveniently, they're going to delay their decision for 45 days or so. So it's like if they can't deny it, they're just going to delay it. And I don't know whether that's a stall tactic in order to allow BlackRock to accumulate
More wealth.
more Bitcoin
Yeah.
and Ethereum, because they've already gone out and got $166 million worth of Ethereum, and now all of a sudden there's a third largest Bitcoin wallet in the world that almost has $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin in it. Of course, a lot of people don't.
Do we know who has it?
No, we don't know exactly who has it, but there's some allegations that it's BlackRock tied. Because if you're going to have an ETF,
Hey, don't worry,
you
it's
have
not the government. That's not who has it.
Right.
It's not the government.
Yeah.
Don't. Fuck the government.
I'm pretty confident that it's going to get adopted. That and you've got the Japanese are light years ahead of us, and they want to help.
That's why we've all invested in a lot of the Japanese crypto market,
Sure.
because they were all but guaranteeing that they are going to take it to the next level. And let's put it this way, they don't do a lot of failing in Japan. Those guys are really good at succeeding.
Well, and here the reality of it is they've already put the regulation in force. They already have a policy set. They've opened Binance is open an exchange in Japan in August, and they're going to have 34 tokens and cryptocurrencies that they can change initially to start with, and then after that, I'm sure they'll expand. But I would imagine once that opens up and the fear and uncertainty, or the FOMO, the fear of missing out, once the Japanese start putting into the cryptocurrency market, then the Americans are going to go, hey,
Oh, yeah.
hey, what's going on? What are we missing out on?
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they don't become the cutting edge, and that America is just a little bit behind, which is dumb, because here we're smart enough, dude. I mean, we got enough resources. We've been dealing with currency for everybody else since we became a country. We had to create a currency. I mean, our country should be really used to this whole up-to-date currency stuff, especially with our dollar failing so quickly. I mean, that is not... The heck did she put in my... Oh, there it is. It's camouflaged. I got a new torch, so...
Yeah, well, and you got the BRICS coming, and you've got all the other countries are trying to devalue the dollar and get away from it. You got a new asset class that it's going to be hard to manipulate.
Okay, so what is currency? I mean, that's the question. What is currency? Currency is a thing that you deem worth something, that someone else deems worth something, and you can use it to trade for goods or services, right? So, I'm really surprised it's taken this long for us to have actually come up with an alternative currency. I'm surprised they didn't do it more back in, let's say, the 30s when our dollar fell the first time. Then they went away from the gold standards later, right? And people did bartering. Bartering was better than money. As far as my dad is, he just turned 80, and his preference as a business owner and a skilled laborer and a guy with a skill, he used to do a lot of trade work. He would weld for people, and they would, instead of giving him money, they'd give him, a concrete job. So we've been trying to find another currency for a long time because the dollar just sucks, and everyone you touch, the government gets a little piece of.
Right. They manipulate it.
Right.
And then they give it away or
Right.
they print it more and
Right.
value it.
It would be completely different if it just became tax revenue. They use the tax revenue for tax revenue stuff. But what ends up happening now with all the social things going on, and we got to be Team America, world fucking police everywhere. By the way, that movie has aged so well. You have to understand, Team America, World Police came out like 2003, 2004, like after 9/11. And then we went into a bunch of countries and we blew them up. Now, to my buddies out there that went, I'm so sorry you had to go. We probably shouldn't have been there. And we appreciate all of the horrible things you guys had to go through to do it. But like every other war that we've been having, I think it was about money. It kills poor people and makes rich people richer. That's all it's ever really done. So we've been doing this over and over and over forever, but never came up with a sidestep. And that's what I think crypto is. It's just stepping to the side, not using violence or force, and just agreeing that we're going to use a different dollar. Because Lord knows ours isn't good.
That's true. I mean, that's with everything going into blockchain technology and the internet evolving from dialed up to 4 5G and into blockchain technology. It's only the natural progression into going into a digital currency. However,
100%.
However, a central bank digital currency is not going to be the answer.
Altcoins are the key.
Yeah, unless you want to be controlled.
Altcoins are the key, just like the American dollar is, at one point was the big dollar in the world, and then you had all the other currencies from the other countries. I think Bitcoin today is like the American dollar, and the altcoins are like the other countries. That doesn't mean that an altcoin or another country won't have as much value to their dollar as we do in the U.S. It's just everything is based off the U.S. market, typically. I mean, nowadays, shit, I don't even know if that's true. Because China and Russia are talking about doing their thing. And
with the yen.
Yeah, they got a whole new dollar that they're fucking creating for everyone but America. Fuck them.
Well, we are kind of turned into a third world country as far as our politics go, or at least how we have
The way we treat people.
the way we treat people, that's for sure.
I don't know when our government became so tyrannical, or if it always was. And all the stuff I heard growing up about how the police were pieces of crap, and because my family is all 100%, and I mean 100% back the blue, right? And I was almost my whole life until I realized that during the times where we had what's her name up there, Kate Brown, and she was using the state police. That was pretty messed up. At that point, it fucked me up so much. I started thinking about what else was screwy. That's when I started coming up with the things about the whole Jedi, where basically the brown shirts for the Senate.
Well, and it's funny you say that too, because the blue's not at fault for that.
It's not.
They're following orders.
They're right.
Because my past as a Marine, deputy sheriff,
Yep.
medically retired sergeant from corrections, and that it's honest cops, and I'll say honest because if somebody asked me if I was a good cop, and I'm like, well, that's subjective. I'm sure there's some people that tell you that I was a great cop.
Right.
However, I can tell you 100% I was an honest cop. So, honest cops don't like dishonest cops.
No, because they make you look like shit.
However, I don't believe that the way of doing is happening.
I don't like the defund the police thing.
You can't. You can't. The only race that we didn't like when we were kids was the one that we ran and didn't win. However, you didn't talk about it. Was there racism? There probably was, but you didn't have it thrown in your face constantly to make our kids and everybody else talk.
Yeah,
So I think therefore you're in essence perpetuating it.
100% perpetuating it. I think what they do is they use any crises or any type of little thing to get the attention off of the wrongdoers, and they use this, and the media is the one that does the worst.
Derek Chauvin and the whole kneeling on the neck and I get it, but some of that stuff was left out. The fact.
But I watched the whole thing, like, even when it was going down, I was like, so what did he do? Like, all I know was this dude knew who Floyd was. He gets out and is like, oh, hey, George.
Well, because they just...
Are you all right?
Just sitting in his rig. They didn't bother to tell you that he'd just been in the store and that the cops had been called.
Regardless, the guy handled it with kid gloves and went to fucking prison.
Well, because...
He could have shot the guy. He could have rolled up and shot him. That's the code 3. Everyone's in danger. You got a bunch of rookies out there fucking up. A guy that just swallowed a fucking 8-ball. Okay, these guys were not prepared for that. So he knew, he was calm. He knew what was going on. The fact that George died sucks, and no one would ever want that to happen. I just have a hard time believing that he did that shit intentionally.
Well, not only that, though, there's contributing factors to that. Did Derek Chauvin cause that? In my mind, no.
I wouldn't think so.
The report showed whatever else he had in his system.
But you gotta remember, it's easier to go after the one person than it is to go after the mob of people, you know, that are going to burn down your fucking city, that are going to paint shit all over the good small business owners, most of them probably ethnic.
Yeah, but that's especially if it furthers your agenda.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because, once again, let's go to January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Go to January 6th. If, in my past history, if somebody released something, it's because they're hiding it.
Right.
You had people that were convicted of that.
You have people that haven't been convicted that are still in jail.
Right, but the conviction, they failed to release the tapes that exculpatory evidence and convicted people off of the fact that they let him in there.
The FBI has
you can't.
footage of all these things that have gone on. You have the Summer of Love riots. I know they don't call them, they call them peaceful protests where they burn shit and kill people. But they had the Summer of Love.
It's called domestic terror.
Exactly. And they had that up in Seattle. They shut down a whole part of the city. The people died because there was kids doing kid shit, stealing cars and driving around fast, and these fuckers all shot him to death. The dude was driving, being stupid, and they just killed him, like execution. And then they wouldn't let the ambulance in. And none of those guys got any time for any of that shit. Or if they did, it was, a year or 6 months. Or yet, this month, what was the one the other day that I'm just blown the fuck away? Joe Biggs. He was a guy from InfoWars, and he was at January 6th. And he knocked down a barrier. 16 years in prison.
Yeah, another dude was 17 years. Yeah.
For knocking down a barrier.
Like
He didn't break it.
You're literally going to destroy somebody's life.
Well, they've been destroying. As soon as he went on Alex Jones as a person part of that show, his life was destroyed. And it's sad because I've got a whole batch of things that I listened to Alex Jones about back in the day. And for the most part, Alex Jones was fun to listen to because he was kind of crazy and wacky and he had all these crazy thoughts. And then all of a sudden one day he's spouting off some stuff about basically what the New York police and the FBI were leaking to him because they couldn't get anything done. And that was right before the second Jeffrey Epstein. We forget there was a first Jeffrey Epstein when they arrested him for all the pedophilia. Then they let him out, and then he went right back to it and all the rich and powerful people.
Yeah, and all the rich and powerful people that are hanging out with him. I get it that people deserve a second chance, but in regards to that...
Wait a second.
You're implicit, too. If you're hanging out with a dude and you know it, and you're an elite, too. And
dude, I'm telling you.
You're probably into that as well.
It's really weird to me that would happen. That, all right, this guy's, one of the most heinous things you could do as a human being. Does whatever time he does, probably wasn't very long, and then right back out, doing it again. and somehow we're the bad guys because we have a different political view than someone else, and that guy that facilitates, dirty stuff to young people
Immoral.
is like totally fine. It's like,
Yeah, and we're the bad people.
because it's different in religion.
Hello, he didn't kill himself.
No.
Those of you that think that he
No, that's one of my favorite ones. They even talked to Trump about it. Did you hear him? I don't think. I mean, maybe he did. I don't. Vivek. They talked to these guys. And by the way, that Vivek guy is badass. I love Trump as far as like his policies and the fact that he's a really strong leader. He's probably one of the strongest leaders we'd had. I mean, you listen to Bush, and the guy was. They made fun of the guy every week because he was like half.
Shrub.
Huh?
Baby Bush.
Yeah,
Shrub.
he was not very good.
No. And he's cooking.
So what that did was highlight how good Bill Clinton turned out to be as a president, which I hated the guy as far as presidency goes, but he did some good shit. I mean, he was good with the budget. He'd have been a fucking right winger today, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I don't think Dan Bongino cares for him.
He worked under those administrations.
He didn't care for any of them.
But yeah, so they set up. I mean, you have Bush that just basically teed up Obama, and Obama would have been pretty good if he'd have just done some of the shit that he said he was going to do. But he was a do nothing, blow up fucking deporter.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I originally had voted for Obama because I figured that,
You were hoping and changing.
well, because of my situation with me retiring from law enforcement and the cannabis that helps my back
Yeah.
with my artificial.
Yeah, you were going to figure that guy was going to get it done.
Yeah, I
Fucker.
figured he was going to get it done, and then I wouldn't have to worry about getting my medicine and being ostracized and going to prison or jail for it.
No, dude, that guy
And then
sucked.
I realized after the fact that I woke up and realized that really all this moral slide that we're on in this country really, I mean, it's been that way for a long time, but it really came to light when Obama took over. And it started the downhill slide. And now look where we're at.
Yeah.
Obama's in his, third term?
Yeah, basically. It's weird to
He
me.
never left Washington. He's the only president who's never left Washington. Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah, they always had him chime in on shit. But it's odd to me because you have a guy that, as far as he wasn't really. I mean, they talked about how like Trump was like not fit for presidency and had no experience and all this shit, and he really literally just came in on the heels of Obama. Who the fuck was this guy? Like, we never even heard of him. All right, this dude that no one's ever heard of shot to the top of the food chain for presidency in 6 months, a year. All right. I mean,
Social media.
it's like, so Vivek, for instance, he's kind of like that. Except for, I saw his valedictorian speech. I saw him and Pete Buttigieg asking questions of Jesse. Was it Jesse Jackson? No. Al Sharpton. When Al Sharpton ran for president, I think in 2012-ish or something. I've seen all these things, and he's, funny enough, Vivek seems fairly consistent. Like he's definitely
it just concerns me about. I mean, I get it, and there's sleepers, and history's shown us that. It just concerns me. At least with Trump, he's, as far as I'm concerned, and him changing his political affiliation 5 times tells me he's out for the people. He's not out for the left or the right.
It's
He's
called
out for
learning.
the people. Now Vivek, with all the past history and everything being bought and scholarships and biggest donation being George Soros, it's suspect for me.
Yeah, I get that.
So I mean, I'm worried that just like Biden, when the resident thief got in there, I mean, he promised before that he was going to do all these changes. Now he didn't do the changes, and he didn't treat the people, the minorities, like he said. That's why you have the blacks for Trump now, because they're like,
Oh, dude.
this brother.
They said
he did not.
They said the whatever the thing is, but if whoever gets 20% of the black vote is literally going to win and wipe out.
If you have a legitimate vote.
Yeah, and the sad fact is, at this point, I think the Democratic Party is just trying to literally run on the fact that the Republicans aren't cool, and so that's why they're not Republicans. I don't think it really has anything to do. I mean, the way they sell it. All right. I'm not necessarily a Republican either. I'm more of a conservative, and I found out that the term conservative to a person who is left of center is like calling a person who is left of center a liberal, and I did not know that, and I don't believe that everyone that is a leftist person or a person left of center, leftists are the liberals that we talk about. A person who is a leftist has an ideology and that's who's taken over. I believe the Democratic Party. And then I say that everyone right of them is conservative. Now, it may be the wrong term, but the reason why I say it is because the more crazy people get, the more you want to conserve your values.
But your new school Democratic Party taking over, because your old school Democratic Party's trying to...
Old school Democratic parties are conservatives.
Yeah.
Based on the description I just used. And maybe I need to change it. Maybe I just need to say that I'm an independent that leans to the right or something, because I'm definitely not far right. I grew up some far right kids. Anarchy is far right. Basically, anarchy with fascism is far left. I was listening to some dudes that are about my age that were wearing the black back in the day and the whole anarchy thing. Weirdly, they were not into destruction of property. And I think that was the difference. Because the anarchists of old, all they want to do is be left alone, to do what they want to do. You protect yourself. They really liked gun rights because they could just stay on their property. And they never wanted to destroy anything. The quote-unquote anarchists today have literally taken on the opposite ideology of what the old anarchists stood for, which was complete freedom. You are over there, I'm over here. We get along because we police ourselves. Now it's you do what I tell you, or we're going to hurt you, your family, or your business, or your car, and that is fascism. So these guys have slowly become, maybe not the ones from back when I was a kid, but the new version has become exactly the things that the first anarchists were trying to fight against. And now that they're trying to say is that anyone that's not like them are far right. Well, realistically, if they are anarchists, there's nothing further right than an anarchist. Because anarchist is no government, right? Total government is fascism, dictatorship. You have your oligarchies, and you don't have a choice. You don't have individual rights. You probably can't own property. Right in the middle of all this is a democracy. It's where the mob rules.
Not a republic.
If you go to the right, or what I'd like to consider the most center position you can get, it would be a constitutional republic, because the laws are in charge. So if we all vote on laws democratically, so everyone has a say, and those laws get passed, so we have the majority voting on a law, well, the law can't be racist, and the law can't be sexist, and the law can't be these things. Therefore, it gives everyone a broad opportunity to become and do and whatever. I think the problem today may be that people don't believe that's what's been happening. So they don't have any faith in the fact that these laws that were created for everyone apply to everyone. And years ago, I would disagree. Or I would have disagreed and said, no, they apply to everyone. But over time, we've seen a thing called selective law enforcement. And that right there is I think that's the thorn in the side of...
Well, not only that, you get mandates. So you get people...
It's on both sides. You have selective enforcement, and then you have rules enforcement, as opposed to law enforcement. So with both of those things being a... what's the best term? Like a dark shadow over a system. And I'm not going to say that our system is perfect, but... Like I said, I think it's pretty good for when folks are, for everybody, right? Everyone should have an equal shot at, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes, unfortunately, what's been happening in the last couple of years is that it appears that we have a two-tier justice system. So, not everybody's getting treated equally, and hence why we've had Trump's had 4 indictments?
Yeah, which is weird.
Which not only weird whether you like the guy or hate the guy. I mean, one, you're persecuting somebody, you're just looking for a reason to do it instead of You know, and I mean, instead of
Well, there was no evidence
basis
first,
for
and
it
you have
whatsoever.
you get evidence, and then you investigate. You don't investigate and then try to find evidence.
Find a crime. to fit it with.
That's not how it's supposed to work.
And that's not only that, you're wasting our money that we don't have, our kids, grandkids, and everybody else.
They don't think of it that way. They think about their money.
No, and you're doing it. I'm just tired of. We don't hold anybody accountable in this country anymore.
No.
No matter what you are, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's the people's house. It's designed for them. You were supposed to come in and do your 4 years, you know, from your farm back in the house on the prairie days. You know,
Yeah.
come in, do your time, and then you get done and go back to your shop or whatever you do, and then let somebody else. Now it's honestly become big business. I mean, I don't believe that Obama had very much money when he went into office. I bet if you look at his records now, I bet he's worth. Whoa.
He's worth millions.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because they get propped up by people like Netflix and shit to do. Who cares, dude? Who fucking cares? Like, if they did a thing like, let's look at Trump's thing. I mean, I don't want to see that shit either. I mean, I've seen him my whole life, though. I mean, that guy has been in the spotlight since the 80s that I can remember.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking to watch some documentary about him after he'd been president. You know, I have watched a few things about the, indictments and all this other stuff that I've seen. But, dude, Trump left office 4 years ago, and he's on TV every day. Like, that's the craziest thing ever. But you know why? Because they need him. I said it years ago when
we need him.
Well, of course we need him. When these, I said that the people that work for these major news corporations, they better not let Trump lose, or they're gonna lose their fucking jobs. And notice, let's see who's not there. Cuomo's not there anymore. Let's see here. Brian Stelter, he's not there anymore. Don Lemon's gone. Fucking, dude. These guys made their living off of talking shit about Trump. It was like a shitty comedian that just happened to become a comedian during a time where like everybody hated like one person, or they got everyone to hate one person. And so what he does, low-hanging fruit, tells jokes about those people, makes a career out of it. Well, when that person's gone, the fuck's that guy supposed to do? He's got to learn how to become funny now.
Right.
You can't just go, take the popular idea and turn it into, one-trick pony jokes.
And not only that is, that man represents our presidency. That's our office. That's our house.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves the utmost respect. Then again, I get it. He runs his mouth. You can't call a foreign leader Little Rocket Man, even though
Sure can.
he did. I guess you can. But
You
I think,
guys-
is it appropriate?
you guys-
Probably not.
You guys can say whatever the fuck you want, but that man speaks what he wants to say when he wants to say it, and I have nothing but respect for people that do that, because that means one thing:
You're getting the truth.
nobody's fucking paying for it.
No, that's true. That's true.
I-
And he didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't take a.
He didn't take a
He
salary.
didn't take a salary. How many of you people out there?
There's not one of them.
Yeah. Never gonna happen.
Vivek may not. If he went, yeah, he got plenty of money. These guys were they're wealthy because of merit.
Oh, 100%.
If you earn it and you make it, that's good. That's good money. If you take it, or if you're gifted it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't go out there and pound your chest and be like, I can do things because someone gave me money one time. But if you take that money and turn it into massive amounts of wealth, that's completely different. Right. Or if you take I mean, I'm not even afraid of someone who's a contractor. Someone that goes into a place, builds it, fixes it, make it look nice, puts their hearts, their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Creators. Ted Nugent talks about it, right? Talks about being in the asset column and bringing some shit to the table instead of being a taker or a I can't remember what he was calling it. But basically just the class of a service class. All we do is buy stuff with Daddy's credit card.
Here's what I find, and maybe you see differently, but I find that the people that were born with the money, or it was given to them, silver spoon in their mouth, or however you want to say it, or inherit it, they seem to be a little more selfish. So the people that are self-made, that can work for it, they're more giving. because you know what? They're not worried about it because they can go out and make more.
It's true.
But the other person, they're like, oh my God, I only have this. They don't, like you said, they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, the higher the skill level, the better the confidence when it
Right.
comes to money.
So when you're self-made, they're just like, oh, and they're a little bit more freer and generous.
And I think so. And one more thing about wealth, and I bring this up all the time to young people, and I hope anyone listening hears me. Buy property. Just fucking buy property. Right now, everyone, the governments and all these different things are saying, man, property, that's not the way to go. All I know is that if you buy a property today, that property could make it to where your grandchildren are wealthy beyond belief.
Well, and crypto. I mean,
Crypto's great. Yeah, no, so in fact, buy both.
Because in crypto, I mean, just so people know, Bitcoin's at what, 27,000, 28,000 right now, something like that, 25,000, whatever it is. Been as high as $68,000 for one coin. You guys don't have to buy one coin,
No.
or a half, or a quarter. You can put $50 into it, $50 a week, whatever you can afford to do. Because make no mistake about it, it's gonna go
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
It has just gone up. The track record since 2008 has just gone up. The trend is our friend. It's on its way up now. It was, I don't know, about 8 months ago, it was at 18, 17,000, maybe even 15,000. Now, well, then so April or May of 2024 is going to be the Bitcoin halving. When the rate
Yeah.
drops in half for the miners. And after every Bitcoin halving, it will shoot up past its previous year high. And the experts are saying that Bitcoin could go as high as 160, 170,000 a coin.
That's a lot.
And that also means that everything else that goes with it,
Yeah.
all the other
Altcoins markets
are going to go up as well because Bitcoin's the North Star. There's $1 trillion in there right now, the market cap of all cryptocurrency across the globe. It's been as high as $3 trillion. So even now, with it down as much as it is, only $1 trillion in there, there's still $25 billion of cryptocurrency bought and sold in 24 hours. That gives everybody a clue of how much money is traded in it. They're anticipating that market cap in the bull run in 2024 to go back up over to $10 trillion because of the adoption, the adaptation, and then because of Binance in Japan
Right.
opening up. And they're saying right now there's only about 5% of the population in the world that even knows about crypto or is in it. That's insane.
Yeah, I keep hearing people say, "Oh, we're too late."
No, it's still like right now.
It's an
crypto,
infant.
Yeah, it's like dial-up was to the internet.
Yep.
I mean, it is so early right now. And it almost doesn't really matter what you get into. There's so many different blockchains that you can just. I mean, obviously, a person should do their research, and
Yeah, so blockchain is the thing. It's less, I think, about Bitcoin and more literally about blockchain technology because that's what
100%.
they're building. The future of all of our tech is built off of blockchain.
Perfect example, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Jasmine coin. Jasmine coin has been as high as $4.95.
Right.
It is less than a half a penny now.
Right.
0.003.
So if a person put $100 in it right now and it went up to just where it's been before at about $5, you would make a lot of money.
You would make a lot of money.
That half a penny for every decimal point, you move the decimal point over on the money you put in. So if it's worth it, if it's 0.5 and it goes to or sorry 0.05 and it goes to 0.005, right, one decimal point, you 10 times your money.
Yeah.
So every decimal point makes, so if you put $100 in, you have $1,000.
Yeah.
So if you put $100 in, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, at 50 cents, you have $1 million.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, it's a lot. But you gotta look at. I mean, do your research. So, for example, Jasmine is a subsidiary of Sony. It's a venture capital.
Yeah.
A subdivision of Sony.
It doesn't hurt to know that too, by the way.
They're calling Jasmine the Japanese Bitcoin.
Yeah, they want to use it as the. Well, I heard that about Sheed. They liked the Sheed coin so much
I Sheed too. That's one of them. That's
that they were.
Jasmine, Sheed, ETH, Bitcoin and all that.
Yeah,
stuff
but they were.
before.
They wanted it to be the face of currency.
Well, Jasmine in itself is going to go. They're using it in everything in Japan.
Mm.
They're putting it into the Vitas operating systems in the computers. They're going to be putting it in their electric cars.
So have we
because-
bought any Nvidia stock lately?
No, but see, so what Jasmine is, Jasmine's known for data lockers. Everything's going to data. Everything right now is the CCP with their balloons, and everybody's collecting data on
Yeah.
us. And then they're going to use that data with blockchain technology. And if it's secure, so nobody can steal it, then obviously that's the way to go. And that's what Jasmine is going to be. That's their claim to fame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all I know about the Japanese, those fuckers do not want to fail.
Well,
They
yeah.
do not take that very lightly. I mean, you remember the Olympics and shit growing up?
Sure.
The Japanese teams were always pretty top notch as far as like what you were expecting to see out of their competitors, man. Those guys, I don't think they had jobs. I think in Japan, if you're an athlete,
That was their job.
that's all you do.
Right.
So they
Go
take
like
things, yeah, well, right. But they take things really seriously there, and it seems like it's more about like the honor, and
Well, look at their culture.
that's what I'm saying. Is they're very, do what you say what you do, things like that. Just be a good person. If you're gonna create something good, or don't. And I have a funny feeling they don't take failure very very lightly.
Right.
So, one thing I did see, which was off topic, I was watching the condensed games, dude, and I think it's Colorado, maybe. It's fucking Deion Sanders is their coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was blown the fuck away. I'm watching this shit last night. I'm like, huh, it looks like Deion Sanders. That guy looks just like him. And then they win, and it's like showtime. I'm like, what? Whoa, no fucking way. Is that Deion Sanders, dude?
Yeah.
They.
Give him back. Coaching.
Yeah. By the way, did you see that the Ducks put up a 81-point game yesterday against Portland State?
Yeah.
All right, mixed feelings. Number one, what the fuck, Ducks? You don't have to just embarrass the shit out of them like that. Number two, 81 fucking points?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I mean, they were just running and throwing, and I feel like it was when I play video games and I'm killing it, and it's like, how many points can I score? It wasn't about the other team, I don't think. It was about like getting those stats set up for your guys, which that was pretty good timing. Because they're going to have like the biggest stats. That should bump them in the ranks a whole bunch too, I think. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. This fucks. 81 points.
Yeah.
Their average touchdowns per year is going to be like 6.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how many fucking touchdowns 81 is, but it's a bunch. 7 times, fucking 10 is 70. So, or 6. 6 times 10 is 70. Or 60. Shit, that's fucking like 15 touchdowns. I don't know. It's hard to do math when you're high.
Right.
Should we fire another one up?
Sure.
All right. Try it different. Well, the first one was... Can't see now. Oh, there. Oh, here we go. Or not. Come on. It's got to be on there somewhere.
It's on the side.
Oh. Nope, that's on it. Headband Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Headband Larry. Good old Larry. Never let you down. Oh, what the hell? What do we have here? This is a single one. Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh yeah. That'll put your falcon in the dirt, all right.
Oh, and the hash in it is Cherry Kim. For a total of 384.9 milligrams of the ever so good TH to the C. Smell that fucker. God, they smell so good. It's just so tough because they're.
I guess we're gonna get medicated.
I mean,
I'm going to the gym after this.
yeah, you can be loose. You can be staring at the weights like this.
Oh no, I do my best work when I'm medicated.
I don't know. I might get out today and go do some filming. I haven't done. I'd like to do more stuff and get out and do more and film shit and do things. And I've done a lot of filming. Problem is, I haven't downloaded my editing software.
Get that.
Sorry, I got the door open for more extra light. Perfect day for it too. It's not hot. It's not smoky. fucking last night I'm sitting in here trying to get everything all set up because I haven't really done it. I got my new studio, as you guys can see. It's straight up studio style now. And I hear this. I'm like, oh, what the fuck's that sound? And Kylie's like, hey, turn off your music. So I turn it off and it just raining outside. I was like, oh, fuck. So I run outside and I'm basically, my top's off my Jeep. And I'm like, oh, man. So my cover, I put a cover on there and the cover is good, but it's not waterproof. So like if I put like a basketball on top and then put it in there, it'd probably run most of the water off. So I come out here and I'm trying to get my soft top like back over the top and I can't do it by myself. So it looks like some scene out of a fucking horror movie. It's mud and shit. So I call Kylie. She comes out, helps me get it on there. And I just realized, man, I'm going to park it inside. And Jen's like, no, you'll get it. Everything's carpet inside now. So I was like, well, shit, now what am I supposed to do, right?
Right.
Plus, my niece's car's parked there, and I don't even know if we have the key. Anyway, I was just fucked yesterday. So if you look, when you go out there, you'll see my top's all jankily on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and it's no big deal, because those Jeeps, realistically, dude, you could rain in it. I have amps and stuff in the back that I don't have. I never covered them. Like, they're covered, but I never, like, moisture buried them or, like, silicone fucking sprayed shit or anything like that. So, but, you know, yesterday, when I had the cover on and it rained, there's like, water back there, too, and it didn't fuck with them any, so, lucky me.
Torch?
Yes.
We need some water, though. It's just uncanny how many fires are around the world.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, climate change, though, I guess. Weird.
Well, I do know that I've seen a couple of years ago they were really spouting that, and they were showing Alaska, and that Alaska was just on, like, majorly on fire. Not Alaska, I'm so sorry. Australia. And then I saw a picture of Australia for the last 20 years, the same time of year. That fucker's on fire every year. They have huge grass fires. Australia. No one goes out there.
You see Africa? It look like the whole continent's on fire.
Every year.
That.
Every
What
year.
about Hawaii?
That was some weird shit. Dude, people are talking about fucking beams of light shooting down and shit like that.
Yes. People that are on the ground there are saying we're not getting any help. They're withholding the food.
It's the fucking Clintons and
Where's the
Haiti
kids?
all over.
Where's the kids?
Epstein Island.
Yeah, 2,000 kids are missing?
Yeah, Epstein Island, dude. I'm telling you.
Nobody's talking about it? That is just weird.
Lord.
And why do you let Oprah and The Rock come out? You two have so much money and you want to ask us for money? That's insane.
Well, they're good people. Just remember. I'm kidding. Yeah, unfortunately, when you become that powerful and wealthy, I think you just sign up to be part of the fucking baddies.
You bumped your head. I don't know who even thought. Anybody could have told them in their camp that, hey, that's not a good idea to go out after that. That's like Biden going over there when he did after 2 weeks, and he's on stage and he's equating how he had a little kitchen fire.
I almost lost my cat.
Oh, my cat, my Corvette, huh? And he kind of chuckled. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't. Oh, and then I guess he had his emergency guy on the ground prior to the fire. You saw that, right?
No.
Yeah, he said he had pointed a guy prior to the fires. Remember the video I sent you?
Yeah, but I don't know what it meant. Like he had someone there before it happened.
Yeah, he
like
said he put the guy there before the fire started. Well, how would you put the guy
why
there?
would he do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some of the shit's weird. We keep coming across to some of the different things, and that's that doesn't add up. I guess is what I'm getting at. It seems like there's a lot of.
Well, when you got the people on the ground that are saying that it doesn't add up on the fires.
Well, not only that, dude.
And everything
The
else
whole
that's going on.
when the thing came out about Trump's indictments, like it came out like 2 days early. Like what
Right.
the fuck? So what you're telling us is that everything's free and fair and we're doing it all right, but why do you have predetermined fucking stingers going off on your news thing? And
Yeah.
It's almost like
you
they
didn't
told you.
plan it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think what happens is they use the news to run up an opinion story, and then they refer back to that story like it was fact later. Well, even CNN reported or New York Times reported that this was happening. No, they didn't. They reported that this was an idea, and then they go through and they tell the whole story. At the end of the story, none of it was fucking true, but it made the headline.
Right.
So when they referenced the headline, they said, well, look, we're just getting this from the news people. Yeah, that you leaked to, and it was false. So, fuck you. What I'm concerned about mostly is the direction our economy is going right now. It's been such a weird, people can come up with all sorts of different metrics and ideas, but the simple fact is, it costs $30 to go to McDonald's. Okay? You tell me in what fucking dimension that $30 at McDonald's is okay.
Bidenomics, dog.
I'm telling you.
That's what it's called, Bidenomics.
I just, and
Just
that's
how
okay.
Green, whatever her name is, St. Pierre, his spokesman.
But the point being, the reason why people went to McDonald's to eat this shitty food that's horribly bad for you is because it was cheap.
A bucket of chicken's what, $50?
$50 for a bucket of KFC chicken meal.
So my bill, when I go to Walmart to shop, it would be $200.
$200, yeah.
200 a week? 400 a week.
Yeah. And you buy a lot of proteins.
Oh.
And that's the stuff that's expensive, right?
Well, my bread. Just my bread. So I do keto.
Yeah.
Because I used to, 300 pounds in a month. So my keto bread was $4 a loaf. It's $6.24 a loaf now.
Right. That's a big jump.
Yeah.
Altogether, I think when we're doing math, it all comes out to about 30%. And it costs us 30%
At least.
to fucking... So that's like increasing your taxes 30%. So, because everything went up 30%.
Well, and where's it going? Well,
Ukraine.
Ukraine. It's not going to Hawaii.
No.
But yet, here's the reality of it too. When that resident thief sat down and took over, the first day, remember, he nixed the pipeline.
Fuck yeah, he did.
So, I mean, common sense...
That was the worst thing ever.
Common sense would tell people that, hey, those trucks don't run on unicorn piss and fairy dust.
Sorry, pipeline people. Fuck you. You knew better. You voted for him.
So...
Suck it.
Yeah, I mean, if you cut the pipeline, everything else is going to go up with the cost of...
Buddy, more than that, if you kill the pipeline jobs, so let's say there's what? Let's just use easy numbers. Let's say there's 1,000 pipeline jobs got cut. Obviously, it's probably 10 times that.
Oh, and then you depleted our reserves.
But not only that, when you think it's the same way the way money works the other direction. 1,000 dudes lose their job in a specific area. How many more people lose their jobs?
Right.
Because the money goes away.
It just gets a trickle down.
Boom. Trickle out.
Trickle out, not down, yeah.
So, instead of taking jobs away, we need to create jobs. Then, on top of that, and I don't care. They used to bitch and moan. When Trump was doing it, the jobs that they created were not high-paying jobs. Fuck yeah, they were. A bunch of them were really high-paying. But he also created a bunch of minimum wage jobs that, because they couldn't get people, were increasing the amount of pay they were paying the minimum wage job without legislation.
Well, then he's bringing those businesses back from overseas.
Right.
To make sure you had to come back over here. Blackmail them. And that's the way it should be.
But you want more jobs on every level. Not just more jobs for rich people. Not just more jobs for poor people. More jobs for each rung. And that was the balance that we got.
Well, I don't care what anybody says about Trump as far as that goes. They got to give it to him for his business.
So I'm saying, yeah.
Because
Ross
our
Perot
economy
paved
is-
the road,
yeah.
dude.
And now look, Bidenomics has cost us what? Interest rate hikes 8 times in the
That's
last
so
year and a half?
much.
That's just insane.
It's so much.
And that affects every industry. Trickle out, like you said. It's not
That's right.
a trickle down. That's a trickle out. Everybody's affected by that.
How do you think the guy that's trying to grow tomatoes at the farmer's market, okay, I'm not saying he's the most important person in the world, but that's the dude that's getting nothing. He gets no help. He gets it from fucking no one, right? Probably has another job on top of that.
Well, then you got to worry about somebody's trying to steal the fucking farmland. Because you're trying to shut this farmer out too. What's
Yeah.
that all about? Oh, because you're trying to force us into some other altered food instead of natural stuff?
Literally.
Wow.
What's weird to me is I haven't dug into it as much. I keep meaning to do it. Is the corn issue. Corn used to be a massive business for food and all this stuff, right? Then at one point, the corn farmers, now I don't even know if it's true. I just saw it on TV, but the corn farmers felt like they were not going to make it. And I'll be honest, dude, all the corn people I've ever seen have fuck tons of money. So what happened? And why are we not growing corn? Because they said there's dudes getting paid to not grow it. Why? Why would we tell farmers not to grow something that we use not only for fuel, but for food?
And all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah?
So exactly, because it's a staple for that. And they don't have it.
We're creating
So it's like,
scarcity?
Yeah,
They're trying to treat it like a stock? They shorten corn out there? I don't think we're trying to be deprived. I think that they have a goal. Yeah.
Drive the price up on it.
So, because they probably make a lot of profit in ethanol. I mean, the government subsidizes these guys to do corn for ethanol.
Sure.
I'm assuming it's similar to hemp. You've got marijuana that you can grow buds, and it takes a lot of care, and you have to go through a whole process. Where hemp, you just pull that shit out of the ground and stuff it in the weed chopper and fucking squeeze all the shit out of it and throw the pulp away, right? Well, I think that's what they do with corn. I think corn, ethanol corn is the hemp of regular corn. They only use it for its extract as opposed to for its fruit value or vegetable value, whatever. And so, but I'm trying to figure out why the fuck they're doing it. Like, there's got to be a reason. Otherwise, shouldn't everyone that has a field with corn in it grow corn?
Well, look at the big egg shortage that we had there for a while, and that was because of thousands of chickens got destroyed. Because, yeah, they'd have some kind of flu.
Oh, that's right.
Quarantine a little bit, and they just destroyed the whole factory.
Yeah.
What was the whole point of that, too? Was that just scarcity on eggs?
No, I think that was I think that was merely a publicity stunt.
What about the baby food shortage?
It's all publicity. It's all created for something.
Sure.
Because I don't think those factories really stopped working. And besides, I believe that when it comes to things like baby food, because of the type of item that it is, they have like a certain amount that they carry for. It's a weird thing, but I think if you supply certain goods to America, they make you keep so much on supply, just because they have contracts for it, right?
Sure.
In case something happens, they can still have a supply to go to the elite people and shit.
Well, from my understanding, speaking of that, the baby food went to the immigrant kids, which here, this is
Probably. I mean,
this
why
is
not?
what gets me. Let's get on this track.
I don't care if the kids are immigrants, by the way.
Sound of Freedom,
Kids are kids.
the movie.
Yeah.
So when you had this Biden administration take over, they quit building the wall.
Yep.
Now you can come across, all you guys come, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, guess what? Now we don't want your adults, but we'll take your kids.
Yeah, dude, it's
And
fucked
I
up.
thought that was really weird because we all know that the best place for kids are with a family unit. And then you're going to take the kids, but not the adults. And now, 200-something thousand kids come across, there's like 85,000 of them are missing in the United States. Where'd they go? You trying to tell me?
Epstein's basement. They're in Epstein's basement.
Are they with the kids that are missing in Hawaii?
They're on. They're in Martha's Vineyard, and dude, we sell them shits. I bet you the currency of the U.S. The underground currency of the U.S. is fucking children.
Oh yeah. Well, we're the number one offenders in the United States. That's just scary.
How is that though? How do we get there? How do we get to that point? Like, I can get it. I can understand.
Overlooking it.
I can understand if it was a lot of our people have drug problems. You know why? Because we can afford fucking drugs. We're a rich nation. We can afford this shit, right? And I could get that. Obesity is a problem. Yeah, we're fat and out of shape. I get to eat and make money. But when it comes to shit like that, how did we get to a point where we accepted that at some point?
Not only accepted it,
Because that's what happened.
we're promoting that pedophilia is okay, and that they were trying to make it a protected class. It started, honestly, in my opinion, it started with the moral degrade, or continued on with started with the Obama administration.
I don't think...
It's been real apparent as far as with the Biden administration.
So just to make things clear...
You had any flag that flies above, it doesn't matter what flag.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, the American flag is number one.
LGBT,
I know.
that flag was flying
But let me
above
back up, though. I don't believe, personally, that Obama's agenda was to do this when he was in the White House. I don't think that Obama's agenda has ever been to degrade or hurt the American family. I don't believe this. Because I don't think... I mean, I don't like the guy, but I don't believe that he personally is a part of that, or not a part. I don't believe that he believes that. I think that he, in certain ways, is probably a pretty righteous dude for certain things. But the people that he aligns himself with, I believe, are 100% into that. So, and like I said, I'm not a big fan of Obama, but I think that he's probably not like, I don't think he's an evil dude, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, he may not be my favorite dude, but I don't think he's evil.
Well,
He's got kids and shit, dude. No one would want that shit to happen to their kids. There's a good possibility what happened was he got in there. He's not the fucking strongest individual, okay? They probably said, look here, Barry. You're going to do this shit because we'll fucking fuck your kid. Or, you know, whatever. We'll hurt your family.
well, the stuff that's coming out on letters.
So what are you going to do? I know what I'd do. I'd walk the fucking line is what I'd do.
I try not to get myself in that situation to begin with.
Well,
If you don't
but he
associate
did.
yourself with those kind of people,
Maybe he didn't know.
it walks like a duck, quacks like a
I
duck.
understand. But maybe he didn't know. All I'm saying is I really don't. Biden, on the other hand, I don't know what kind of weird shit that guy's been into for many years, but it's fucking weird.
Well,
I mean...
it's if I'm under the show, I mean, I fear for those people that are dirty if Trump, or when Trump gets back in office. If
Not me.
They don't try to kill him.
I hope that they leave.
No, because you know what? It's going to be retribution, and it's going to be legal because they're just dirty. You've got a laptop out there that the FBI hit that's with Biden's kid. It's got pedophilia, drug use, all of that stuff. Just overlook the drug use. Who gives a shit about that? Crimes against himself. The pedophilia is the main thing.
Mhm.
That's not. Those kids can't protect themselves. And the FBI, that in itself, by hiding that from the American people, that was election interference.
Oh, yeah.
And we need accountability.
Yeah, the problem is that we need to get past the your vote doesn't count right now, so more people actually go out and vote and don't believe that.
Unless we fix the system.
I know, but still, at this point, the best thing to do is not be squawking about if we think that the election was stolen or the cheats and stuff like that. Because we've seen what's going on. We ain't stupid. We ain't stupid. Right. But it will disenfranchise people to vote. So the best thing to do is to promote the fact that this time around we are going to be doing everything in our power to make sure it's fair and done properly.
Well, that's the thing. That is the thing to move forward. It's in order to the people that are already not going to vote, in order to get them back, it needs to be a campaign on what we're going to do in order to make sure that their vote counts.
Yeah.
fairly.
Yeah.
Because it's certainly.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that's why you have even Vic. He is a huge proponent of paper ballots, straight up ID and paper.
Yeah, 100%.
You walk in with a piece of paper and an ID, and we vote. It's a national holiday, and the reason why is because I think he wants to win fair and square, even when he wins, because I think he's eventually going to become something. But I have a feeling that that dude doesn't feel like you win unless you actually win.
Well, now think about it. So think about it. I know that he said no. Maybe this is a win-win. Maybe
No, he's going to be vice president.
Yeah.
He's going
But
to.
there's some other people.
What is he supposed to say? No, dude, I'm just running for vice president. No, he says I want to be president.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe he doesn't mean today. You know, these people are going to buy a car. Doesn't mean right now, but they're going to buy something. I have a feeling that guy is going to be maybe even president someday. He's been set up for it. He's the perfect example. Immigrant parents, valedictorian.
He's what they're
Harvard
yeah,
fucking law
yeah.
or whatever business, Harvard
Got his own
business.
money.
Made $1 billion. Okay, this guy is the perfect candidate to. I would like to see him going right behind Trump. Let Trump pave the way. And I said this about DeSantis too, and I still feel the same way that DeSantis could be that guy. I feel like it's the Jesus complex, right? Once the ground is laid, you'll have this golden child come through and fix all of our problems. Which, let's face it, it'll never happen because we're always going to have problems. But if we can, push that direction, I think it will pave the way for a better and stronger, America for everyone. Because it's not about me, dude. I mean, I do stuff for me, like this podcast. It's not for you. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are watching, but it's really a lot of it's just for me, because it gives me something to do and focus on and, take my mind off of the more stressful things in life and, it gives me something to have like a purpose, right? But I don't necessarily do it for other people. I do it for myself, right? Sure. So whenever you do something for yourself, you try to also branch out and then do something for somebody else. If you can do that balance, it's a way better lifestyle. It's a good way to live. My problem is I don't think that we as Americans have been that way for a long time. I think that was culture in our society for many years, and that culture has changed to become what can you do for me? And the what can you do for, which is fine. Okay, having the what can you do for me, as long as you're the guy that's already done something for somebody else.
Sure.
And I try to explain this to my wife. She will go out of her way to do stuff for people sometimes. Those same people won't do the same thing for her. And the only problem I see is that she will get a little bitter about the fact that they don't turn around and do something for her. So I would rather us being a society of bitter people saying, look at all the stuff we did for those people, than not doing them.
Right.
Because I think it's doing the thing, being kind, giving is way more important than trying to get.
The satisfaction of getting
to get. Because, the more I think about it, the more I've gotten stuff, I feel shit. After a while, you feel guilty for having it. Sometimes you feel like maybe even you don't deserve it. But every time you give, you feel good. There's not one time I've given and been like, shouldn't have done that. Not once. I feel so much better. And I think that's where really we're having our problem. I don't think it's this bullshit in the White House. They're just making it harder for us to give. That's where I think most of my shit comes from anymore. I like to look at all the different sides of it, all the this and that issue, and really I don't think for me it comes down to those issues as much as I would like to believe it does. I think it comes down to how effective as people can we be for each other.
Well, I think if we got back to the old school of treatment of people and love each other, we don't. People, if you look at society now, people have their heads buried in their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, they don't even say hi. They don't say please, thank you.
It's by design almost.
Yeah.
I don't think it was done on purpose, but I think that folks have realized the power, and I think that's what they're using.
I honestly think it was done on purpose because we learned a long time ago at Pelican Bay when I was a sergeant there. If the inmates were fighting amongst themselves,
They weren't fighting you.
exactly.
That part I give you.
So if we are not loving each other and taking care of each other, our neighbors, then guess what? We're divided.
Always.
United we stand, divided we fall.
Yeah, it's true. The problem, I think, we live in a rural area. People in the cities don't have the same views as us.
So I have different ways of mentality.
But also, you don't know what they've experienced. Where I think the more experience a person has in their lifetime with certain agencies, like government agencies or, any of that stuff, the more you realize how fouled up things truly are. For instance, if you were to go to any government agency as a fly on the wall and just be there, you are going to see some of the worst practices if it was Walmart, you'd be fired in 10 minutes.
I have a fix to a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's called mandatory military for male and females when you graduate high school.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the way the Hebrews do it. Those guys, Israel's got it figured out.
Oh, yeah.
let's do it.
I mean,
Because you know what? It would break this cycle. It would, if it just gets one FT, failure to launch from the basement out. Because guess what?
you're gonna have to conform, or you don't have a choice. I mean,
we're lazy as humans. That's just the way it is. As human nature, we're lazy. And if we don't have somebody pushing us, then we're not going to do it oftentimes.
well, the best time to do it's when you're young.
Right, and if the parents couldn't do it, or they just didn't do it, or were absent, then guess what? Us as a government,
Far beyond that, think of how much more safe we would be as people.
how much more safer, respectful we could teach the history about this country and what it was about.
Your real school is going to start.
Right.
Show you how to balance a checkbook.
Trust, loyalty, self-respect,
But
discipline,
with this, I think that we would make.
self-worth.
I would think we would make some changes because you know that I'm all on this one too. Like I've been on this forever.
100%.
But not only do these people go into the military, but the military is going to provide a certain schooling for life, as in not the stuff you learn in school. It's all for what? So you can get into college and then go from college and get these degrees. It's not applied in the real world necessarily. So maybe you have because you learn how to, wash your clothes, right? You do all the stuff that you're supposed to do. They show you how to fold it. They show you where to put it, how to keep everything organized. Yep, keep everything organized.
Your bone.
Exactly.
Well,
But if you don't start there, it's really hard to have a productive lifestyle if you
Right.
can't start with some positive.
and I'm not saying everybody that hasn't gone through the military hasn't been successful, but it's not bad. It's just.
It'd have made me better.
Oh, it would have made everybody better, and we wouldn't be in the situation we're in now because it would have breaking the cycle, and it's going to take some time to get away from that.
It also keeps you busy at a very critical time in your life.
Well, not only that, and then when they're done with it and they get out, then we can pay for their schooling.
You know what else?
They do
Oh,
what they
absolutely,
wanna do.
absolutely. The other thing that would happen is there would be bonds. You would have,
100%.
just like when you come across another Marine, dude. You guys, it is something.
It's a brotherhood.
Could you
Once a man,
imagine
always a Marine.
if all the folks in the U.S. that were of a certain age had all served at the same times, then they would have a bunch of the same culture. They'd have a bunch of the same. Realistically, even if there was absolutely no brainwashing done at all, because we have a tendency to, and I mean, I don't mean like break them down and build them up. I mean, as in try to shape how they think the way they do in college. Imagine what the politics would look like in this country after about 50 years.
Yeah, because I don't.
Look at the greatest generation, right? But look at the greatest generation, right? The guys that served in that were born after the war, or the one, I think they were born war babies like my dad. Those dudes, okay, most of them that age went in the military out of high school, and they're not a culty type of person, but they're very patriotic. They appreciate the country. They appreciate what they've had. They appreciate what they work for. They all work hard, it seems like. And they're a different type of person. And I think because it has to do with, these guys, they did something. They were busy. They had to work. They had to create. They had to earn. And during their time, they paved a way, for us to be lazy and fat today. But you'll notice that they share a certain, even if they disagree politically, because a lot of them still do. They literally disagree politically all day long. They won't disagree on certain things, like individual rights, property rights, freedoms, all that stuff. The Constitution stuff, every one of them agrees with, right? Because that's what they fought for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's changed today, is I think a lot of these people have lost their faith that the Constitution is for everybody. And that's why I think that these guys are so upset and want to change and burn it all down, and because they don't think it represents them. So like like I was telling you earlier, those little dudes from anarchists, they truly felt like they had no voice, right? I know what they did. I get it. I don't blame them. So imagine 85 million people that felt that way, right? That didn't burn down houses, that didn't, because those guys eventually formed these groups of basically,
That's called Trump supporters.
I don't want to call these dudes terrorists. The folks that went from anarchists to Antifa, but they've just become destructive, right?
Well,
And that's weird because 85 million people feel the same way. Maybe it just hasn't been for long enough, but if it is, do you understand? The pattern there is these guys became destructive because no one had a voice for them. And if the people that supported Trump feel that way for long enough, eventually they're going to become destructive too. That's what.
and that won't be good.
But that's what the other side's waiting for.
Because
That's why they keep doing what they're doing.
That's us. That's your conservative middle age.
But that's what I'm saying, though. That's why these folks are going after Trump so hard, because they know that if they rile his base up enough, that someone's going to fire, someone's going to shoot somebody, so they can get rid of the guns and do all the things. And what they don't realize is, we like the law. We like to see things done properly, and so much so that even our, the people we agree with politically don't agree with other people we agree with politically. Right? That's what you want. Not everyone agrees all the time. Those guys are the worst. That's scary.
I mean, you have false flags too, though.
All the time.
Because if it doesn't happen quick enough for them or at the right time, then they won't make it happen to where there's a shooting. I mean, look at January 6th. I'm not the biggest conspiracy theory guy. I'm the guy that shit ain't adding up when I look at shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you told me this? Oh, but I see this? You lied. Well, oh, my conspiracy theory now came true.
Yeah.
Because it was shown.
It's not a theory.
So you have a certain amount of people that want some change in this country, and I get it.
It's the same as the crypto people.
Right.
I mean, it's the same types of people all over. But they don't like to be, they feel like they're not represented. Like we would like to see crypto represented more.
Right.
Like all these things.
But you can't put plants in there. I mean, but they can.
They have. They've been doing it for years, dude.
Yeah,
this
I
ain't the
know.
first time.
I know they can manipulate
Dude,
the
you heard Vivek?
situation. Yeah.
Well, how many people were on the plane? I think that fucked people up. I think that, what do you mean? How many people were in the towers?
Yeah.
How many, like when this shit happened?
9/11.
Yeah.
How about the firefighters?
'Cause
saying that
no
there was
one said
bombs-
anything.
That there was bombs in the.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that he brought up something that just shook everything. And they have tried to keep it so quiet. But what they did is they tried to come out and get him like it's a gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
Too sharp for that.
but the problem is now we're talking about 9/11 and how many fucking feds were on the plane? Those idiots have just put that in. Now I'm thinking, fuck. That's why we didn't have, that's why people weren't in certain areas. That's why you couldn't go in certain places on the street. That's why they did have certain cameras on the building. Those pieces of shit.
Staged.
I don't know if staged, but they were in on it.
Set up.
Yeah, they didn't not know it was going to happen. That's whoever does it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't say our government tried to do it because I don't think that it's really hard to get them to fucking do anything. But them allowing someone to do it where they have to do nothing, they're really good at. So it's so weird. Over the time, I thought the government was so good. Like, right? You like Joe Rogan says, when you go to the White House, you'd figure that place is fucking Fort Knox, right? The best security in the world. He's also the dude that broke in there, jumped over the fence, and was like, plaf, ha, shit, I'm still alive, and just starts fucking running. You'd figure like a trap door would you'd fall right into jail. There'd be something. No, he gets to the front door, and it's fucking unlocked. Okay. It's because the government runs it. They're not very good at shit, okay? You've got certain factions of the government, for instance, like the military.
They're good when they want to be.
Right, but it's trained to do specific things, right? They're really good at those specific things. When you get into the upper echelon, dude, nobody's fucking good at anything. So you go do, let's say you go for a march around the flag in the circle in the middle of the academy. Or someone has to file paperwork on that. Those motherfuckers are bad at it. They put it in the wrong file. They send it to the wrong place. They're fucking horrible. All right? So all the way up the chain, there's always fuck-ups. That's just how the government seems to work. So I have a real hard time believing that they were staging some shit so well that no oversight, no paperwork, fuck you. They can't do shit. But, like I said before, if they knew what was going to happen and they just stepped back, they're really good at that. So that's the type of shit I think that the government's been involved in. Because, dude, they can't get shit right. They just can't. They build buildings a foot over too far. I mean, like, the dumbest little shit. It's because we don't have, people don't manage the government people. They just do what they want. Look at Park and Rec. I know that's hilarious, but how fucking much different is it than the people that really work for the local governments and stuff? They're, you know, are they good at it, or they just have the job? So, yeah, outside of military type shit, of like strikes and, you know, coordinated war efforts that they train on daily, outside of that, yeah, I don't think they're very good. Fucking potholes don't get filled. Like, so like I said, I changed a little bit over time on that one, because I was like, yeah, they're really good at this stuff. They've been doing it for years. Maybe a couple dudes are good at shit, but everybody else sucks.
Well, they just need to redirect the resources from trying to get over them on the American people to actually helping
Once again,
the American
that's
people.
what Vivek was talking about. Says, hey, no, we get rid of the FBI and turn them into federal marshals.
I mean, I get it that I'm single as far as taxes go.
Yeah.
50%, I think I'm getting hit. 49, 50%, I think.
No, it's 80% because 30% increase in goods and services.
There you go.
That was my point earlier.
Thank God I have retirement, but jeez.
So when the lottery happens, who wins? The government. That's right.
Government always wins.
That's the thing. So raising minimum wage to $15 an hour raises taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, this bullshit is, the people weren't asking for $15 an hour. The government was being like, hey, you know what you need? You need to get from your employee $15, which is just one way to make the employer and the citizen pay more taxes.
Right.
Instead of being like, hey, let's tax these dudes a little bit less.
Because the employer's going to raise the price of foods.
Fuck yeah, they are.
In order to compensate for that.
Fuck yeah. They will pass the savings down to the customer, whatever direction that savings is.
Yeah, 100%.
But once again, the reason why we do crypto is to hedge against this American fucked up market. That the worse, as it becomes worse and worse, because that's what's happening, and we watch it every day. And the plan would be that these you know, cryptocurrencies that we've invested in stick around and inflate, and as the market deflates, these inflate.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't know how else to buy a short against dollars, but this is basically trying to buy a short. By the way, the guy that they made that movie, The Big Short, about, he's shorting something again, and I think it may be, I can't remember what it was, but you might want to look it up and look into buying some of that short, because he made like billions of dollars, and I guess he's just an autistic dude, but he saw the algorithm, the rhythm of money, and he was like, nope, this is gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
So I think it's the car market, like the auto banking industry.
There's a guy I watch, his name's Austin Hilton on YouTube, and he has this thing called X1 Algo, and it's a trading indicator.
Mm.
And I think you can get it's a monthly fee. He's smart.
Yeah.
He's smart. Monthly fee, that's the way to do it.
Of course it is.
Boy, I think it's $47 a month. And
Holy shit.
But it works for crypto, stocks.
What does he have? Is it an algorithm that buys and sells?
No, it takes 10 minutes to set up. Yep. And you set it up and it gives you buy signals and sell signals. So every time I watch his,
And does it use AI?
Well, however
Or
it's
he
done.
has a program that
He
he's
has a
programmed.
program that had developed for him, and so every time I watch a video, of course, he touches on his X1 algo trading and how much of a percentage this would have made you. Because he's right. I mean, if we're working, there is no buy signals unless you're using something or something.
No, I told you I wanted an algorithm that would just do it automatically. So he has one,
Yes,
and you just have to hit buy.
yeah, you just have to hit
Yeah,
buy.
that's fine.
Right.
I mean, you have it on your phone,
Yeah, you can do it on your phone, desktop.
and it does for crypto.
Yep, crypto, stocks, all of that.
So I will be buying that today. I'm telling you, why not let it work for itself?
Well, and the reality is we're not reinventing the wheel. If somebody else has already done it, then you just make sure that it's good, and obviously.
So what you do is you download this program, you put in the stocks and cryptos that you have, and then as that goes through, he'll tell you, you'll get a text, hey, time to get this one, or whatever, through the message app or whatever. Now, do you do it through his program, or do you have to go to your own program and do it? Like, do you have to go to Robinhood, or do you have to go to Coinbase?
Yeah, you have to.
You'll have to physically do it.
You do it. You have your own custody of it, and you do it.
Well, is there a way, I wonder if you could just have it set up limits?
I don't know.
Like, I can set up limits on all my stocks and my crypto and stuff, but I wonder if you'll be like, hey.
I'll get you the link to
and I
Totally.
guess there's support and all that. He's a really good guy.
By the way, I'll try to link that in the comments later if I can. That way, any of you guys that checking it out, you can get some insight. Figure this: we have no idea what crypto or stocks are going to do, so you just guess. This guy has an algorithm or a program, or he puts in metrics into a computer. The computer says X, Y, Z, and the probabilities of making money are going to be based on like history and future, whatever, however they're able to do it. And so what it'll do is it'll say, hey, buy here because this is going up. And at the top, it'll say, okay, now sell. And that way you can always buy low and sell high. Or I would assume there's probably different levels. And there's going to be high risk versus low risk. And I bet you when you set it up, all that's part of it.
Well, and the great thing about that is instead of just holding your coins, you can improve.
You can work them.
You can work them.
Yeah.
You can improve your overall total however much you want, depending. You know, you just keep trading 2 or 3 days, and it, you know, sometimes it'll take 2 or 3 days for a trade to transpire.
Yeah, my only issue is that I don't like to sell my crypto. I like to trade it.
I haven't sold any of my crypto. The only thing I did do once.
Like I don't sell Doge and then rebuy in.
Right.
I'll trade for something else and then I'll trade back later because there's almost no fees for trading.
But if you buy, so say you have Doge and it goes up,
You put in a USD coin.
it goes up 30%
Mhm.
and you sell it,
Yeah.
and then it drops 20%.
And you buy it, yeah.
You just made a 50%
Right, but
increase on your money.
but what you want to do is not sell back to dollars. You want to go
Right.
get a different coin.
Or you just get the same.
What?
Or you just get the same.
No, my point being is, yeah, but let's say when you sell the Doge, you don't sell it cash. You transfer it to USD.
Yeah.
Or
USDC or USDT.
Right, or Bitcoin or whatever other
Something
crypto.
else,
But something that I've done is I only like to trade. I do not like to sell. In fact, half my Robinhood shit I still have in my account, it's because I don't want to sell it because of the fees.
Right. But for people that do want to sell it, so for like me, my whole thing was, how do you get fiat dollars or US dollars into cryptocurrency and vice versa?
Uh-huh.
Because after you get all this cryptocurrency and it moons or it gets to a point where you take profits, how the hell are you gonna get your money out of it so you can spend it in the real world? Well, I use crypto.com and I have their debit Visa card.
Yeah, so you can just put it right in your bank account.
Right, so I have my bank accounts tied to crypto.com and I will fund my crypto, my Crow tokens. I'll buy it through my crypto.com, then I'll transfer it to my DeFi wallet, and then I'll put it throughout or trade it, swap it into other coins, or stake it or buy liquidity pools with it or something along that line.
Yeah, but if you need to pull a bunch of your money out right now.
Then I can transfer it back onto my card,
Mm-hmm.
into my account, into my crypto.com account, and I can spend that at Walmart or online or anywhere else because it's a Visa debit card.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty cool because see if you have Ethereum or Bitcoin or Binance Smart Chain or BNE or one of those coins, any of those, you can put it onto your card. You don't have to convert it into fiat dollars. Just automatically does it for you.
Yeah, that's great. And that was always the question back in the day. Well, how do you get the money out? Well, if you got a fucking debit card, you don't even have to transfer between.
Right.
So what he's talking about is Crypto.com started their own Visa debit card that was designed so you could still trade crypto and you wouldn't have to go through the banking systems to get the money back out. As in, mine's tied to my U.S. bank. So if I wanted to pull money out, it takes like a day.
But you can put it back to your checking account or
Exactly.
savings account as well too.
But with the debit card, you don't have to go through those processes. You can just use the card and it'll come off your balance.
And then you get rewards because I get 1%. It used to be 2% when the market was really great, but since the market's gone down quite a bit, you get 1%. So every time I spend that card up to a certain point each month, and I haven't reached that limit yet, then I get 1% back in the form of crypto.com token.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Crow tokens. And the other thing is, whatever you're dealing with, make sure that you know, do a little research on the background. Like Crypto.com, it's Crow token. It's not, they're gigantic, and they were the first ones to come up with this debit card idea. So I have a feeling that in the future, they're going to be a big one. But for instance, I only use basically Coinbase because I've had issues with the other exchanges and trading, and I'm not really into that. I do staking now, But the staking I do is through Coinbase, like with Polkadot and a couple of other different weirdo coins that you basically you buy a coin, right? And when you stake it, you're like lending them your money. Like if you got $10 and you give it to the bank, and then the bank loans that $10 out and makes a percentage on it. So they're making something off of that, and then in turn they pay you back in crypto, whether it's the crypto that you're using or a different form. So if I'm using Polkadot and they pay me back in Ethereum or whatever the case may be, which they're all on the Ethereum network, I believe.
Right. There's so many different. There's like.
It's lending your money to someone to make money, and then they pay you back.
Right. There's like 20 or so different blockchains: Ethereum, Binance, Chronos. I like because Chronos blockchain is an up and coming blockchain. It's tested. It's already had a breach. They made it right. It's a $30 million hack months or maybe a year ago.
Yeah, you guys can lose all your money easily,
Right.
quickly.
So you have to find something that you trust. You gotta watch
Well,
it.
and not only that, though, if you don't keep it in there, if you keep it in a... So there's things called wallets.
A hot wallet and a cold wallet.
Yeah, there's wallets you can keep off the internet so people cannot access it.
Crypto.com in itself is a centralized exchange, but the Crypto.com DeFi wallet is decentralized.
Right.
Staking and liquidity pools is more prevalent on the Crypto.com in the DeFi wallet, and I'm getting upwards of 100% APR
Yeah.
annually.
Yeah,
on
he's
my stuff.
he's staking things that are... I mean, when he first started staking them, some was like 90%, 75%, but they weren't giving you, like, your token A is what you give them. Token B is who's receiving it. And then they pay you back in token C. The thing about token C is a lot of those tokens, when he first started, weren't worth anything. They were kind of new. So it was their way of saying, hey, invest in us. We're going to give you another coin that's going to be worth something someday. And some of those coins have gone up quite a bit. I mean, not like
Right.
millions of dollars,
Well-
but now what happens is it builds your wealth like this. So you got this mountain of wealth here, and then you're using that mountain of wealth to create these smaller pools of wealth. And as everything grows together. If we were able to figure out a way to where you could stake one coin to another that gives you another coin that stakes back to the original coin, you would have a circular interest rate that would literally just print money. So I'm waiting for that to happen. I know we're not the only ones, but if that were to happen, it wouldn't matter which coin ever went up or how much. All of them would go up exponentially. It would create a chain reaction. And so he's got a bunch of coins doing it. They're not all tied together, but he's got a few that are one coin away from completing the chain. I mean, right, with Chronos, you got your crypto.com, so your Crow, because Crow seems to be like the Bitcoin for crypto.
Well, so Crow is the native token to the Chronos blockchain.
Right, it's the number one token. So it
What-
trades to all the different ones on the blockchain.
Well, what happens is on every blockchain, every time you do a trade, there's a gas fee. There's a
Yeah,
service
it's
or a
energy.
service
It
fee.
expels energy, and when you expel energy, it costs. It takes away from the energy that's being generated.
In stocks, it would be a trading fee.
Right.
So what it is on the Chronos blockchain, one of the reasons why I started trading on them is because one, their reputation, but two, their gas fees are way lower than Ethereum blockchain. They started on Ethereum blockchain.
But you got
originally
feed,
back in the day.
feed.
For $40 to $400, I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I'm not going to pay $400 in order to transfer $200 into something.
Yeah,
else.
right.
And that was ridiculous, or to stake it. So I started trading on Chronos.
Yeah.
Well, Chronos, when it first came out, it went up to about, I think it's been as high as 95 cents, but it's as low as 5 cents now.
Mhm.
Chronos in itself, because of the staking and the low fees, when it's continually upgrading and it's expanding in all the different countries and it's doing right, it's going out and getting the licensing before it goes into the countries, and it's going to be. Oftentimes they're saying it's going to be bigger than Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah.
Binance Smart Chain is huge. BNB token's $245 right now. It's been as high as $600, and they're saying that Chronos could be as high as that.
Dude, I sold my BNBs years ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't do so much trading on the
I
Binance.
didn't like it. I got out of Binance after.
Well, there's
It
a
got
lot of
weird.
log polls, there's a lot of dirty.
Yeah.
A lot
I didn't
of
like it.
theft on Binance Smart Chain. You gotta watch it.
But
You gotta
yeah,
watch it everywhere.
but with crypto.com and all the altcoins they've created, that's because they're doing staking and everything. It seems like it's not long before, like I said, just leaving your wealth, here will create wealth everywhere else. And then once one of them, like I said, once one of them goes, it's going to drag the entire market up.
Well, as soon as, like I said, Bitcoin is the North Star. As soon as Bitcoin starts going up, then everything else goes up.
Yeah.
with it. But you have in the meantime, the test of it is what's going to make it through the bear market, the market that we're in right now. Well, we just went through the year. It's on a 4-year cycle. Last year was the bad year. This year is going to be the okay year. Next year is going to be a really great year, and then the following year is stand the fuck by.
Cool.
It's going to go through the roof.
That's what I need.
If you have D apps and you have, like, for example, Vino Finance, this is where I can do staking. You have liquidity pools. I'm getting, like, I cash out my pools every Sunday. I probably have 30 different things I'm into. I cashed out about $20 today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only reason that Vino and everything else is down, I do Atom staking, Chrono staking, and Vino on there, is because the whole market's down. When the market goes back up and swells
That 20 turns into 60, 70, 80, $100.
200, 300,
Yep.
who knows?
We could go up.
Every day, every week, I don't know.
It's like having a CD that continuously changes in rate.
Right. But
Instead of
for
a fixed
example,
one.
Like, I have a fountain and then I have a reservoir that I can put these into, depending on every week. Right now, I'm getting 127% annual percentage rate on my Vino and my fountain.
Yeah. So if you bought $10 worth of it, and you've let them borrow the $10 worth, they're paying you 120% of something. What, you got a call?
It was horrible.
Whatever, dude. You can answer it.
I'll call back. I told him.
Oh, that's funny. He probably has deals to make.
Well, I don't take a minute. But then, like the Crow, I stay Crow in there too because Crypto.com, Crypto.com, I plan on being a millionaire just off of Crow tokens
Yeah,
alone.
right.
So I'm going to set that money aside. Some of these pools I have locked up for 48, 96 months. You get 22.80% if you lock it up for 96 months. Where are you going to get that kind of money?
Yeah, you just don't, dude. That's a lot.
9.4% for 48 months. And then it just keeps growing, obviously. You just keep restaking it, and it just keeps growing.
Check my thing here. That's funny. All right. I don't think I've gotten any in the chat. Ain't nobody said shit yet. Oh, wait. Top messages. Nope, haven't seen any chats yet. I guess if they want to get a hold of you, they can chat with us.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, dude, I think crypto is probably the wave of the future. It's going to be our best way to hedge against the inflation of the dollar. And then I think even if the dollar comes back, it'll push crypto up over the top. Because everything is going to blockchain. All the video games, all of the crypto or the social media companies, contracts, all this stuff. I mean, all these contracts that you do online are supported by blockchain. So like DocuSign and all that shit. Pretty sure all that stuff is done. It's all done through blockchain.
Yeah.
So if blockchain is the future and crypto is based on blockchain and so does quote unquote the metaverse, the planned metaverse, then why wouldn't you want to maybe invest in some of that?
Well, and if the future is now, and you're early into it, exactly why?
I mean, people 20 years ago that were saying, I got in too late. I don't know what this stuff is. It's only been 20 years, dude. The internet took like 35.
Well, I mean, I did it. So if it was out in 08, here in 2010, 12, 14, 16, 19, it's a new asset class, but like you said, it's 2023 now. And
Yeah,
of
dude, it's
course-
been 15 years.
Right, I know.
That
That's
15-year mark is kind of this
Well-
technology actually works because there's a whole
I know.
new generation now that's grown up that knows what this shit is.
But think about this. The test in the industry as far as businesses go has always been if you make it 5 years,
Yeah,
then you're good.
yeah,
Well, shit, we're 15 years, so.
yeah.
I'm going to say, especially with the fact that Larry Fink from BlackRock has said that it's digital gold, they're not going to go anywhere but up.
It's fucking digital gold for sure.
Right.
It's completely different. You have to understand that the thing about crypto, and some people don't like this, but it's energy mining, right? When I was saying gas fees, I was saying gas energy. So what happens is they take these little, I wish I had something like it. Looks like my little amplifier with a cage around it. And they sit on these racks, kind of like the racks I have in here that have stuff on them. And they sit on these racks and they take energy and they convert it into data. And what they do is they continually mine this data, and that's what creates the blockchain. And that blockchain is based of basically energy, right? We're all made up of energies, energies and everything. So what they're doing is they're taking energy and they're centralizing this energy, and they're creating a program that's based off of energy, and they're creating all these different things to fuel the internet. So when things happen, for every action there's a reaction. So what they're doing is these things put off a ton of heat. These are mechanical things, so they can break down. Sure. So there's a lot of upkeep. So there's a lot of cost to this. Also, you have to consider that it goes along the lines of having like natural resources, right? So if the electric grid fails, it's gone. And I mean gone forever. So this is all an energy-based system. And if you think about it, all of the sci-fi movies we ever watched, everything's energy-based in the future. Whether it's the cars and how they fly, or the spaceships, or shooting a little laser gun. So this is if you believe that is the future is going to be energy, then this is probably the best investment in energy you can do besides maybe buying oil and gas. Well, but even then, I mean, they're going against it, right? You might as well just buy some fucking lithium stock or something. I don't even know if that's a thing.
Lithium stock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got lithium stock. I got it in a mining company.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
See, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. I mean, those two would go in hand. I did gasoline stocks for a few different major gas fuel companies, and when Obama and Biden, when Biden got into office, I bought a bunch of gasoline stocks and I made it was over 100% return on one of them. It averaged like 80% return. It was really high for stocks. And then when Dutch Brothers dropped, I sold those stocks and took all my earnings. And I bought a bunch of Dutch Bros because I'd rather put my stocks and shit into local stuff. Honestly, I like Dutch Bros. I like the people. I want to see them huge.
Yeah, I've got that too. Lithium One Metals Inc.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't. Yeah.
I mean, that's probably a good stock to buy into.
That and charging units, because
I got a couple of those, just like you do.
Yeah.
Hypercharge and all that.
Hypercharge, and then the MCF Energy.
Yeah, those are the two that I have.
Blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. MCF Energy.
Allegedly.
Biden come out and said it.
Yeah, they're gonna have problems if they fuck with us.
But anyway, they've got a monopoly over there in Europe, and they're drilling in, I think, Germany and Austria. I think it is, for natural gas.
I have no idea.
And the former Joint Chiefs of Staff, I believe, is Wesley Clark. He's on the board. He's the director of the company. It's probably going to be good.
Those fuckers. Whatever.
I've got quite a bit of that.
It doesn't hurt to have the. Like I said, that's why I bought it. That's why I bought it, because he was right. I was thinking, fuck, we're going to have chargers everywhere. So whether it's today or even if it's a couple years from now,
we're going to need them.
Fuck yeah, that's going to be a good stock to have, because it's probably going to split and do a bunch of Apple type shit in the future. But I guess these guys are delivering some shit next door. Special delivery. So, all right, man. Well, I think we're gonna call it quits. It's been a good one. It's been fun to talk about all this shit. Yeah. And hopefully, if anyone has questions about this stuff, you can get a hold of me. I don't know everything, but I have a funny feeling that the more they push us away from these things, the more we should probably look into them. Because I think wealthy people don't want poor people to get wealthy. That's what I think is going on, and they got a control of a lot of the media and on the information that flows around. So if we can help each other by doing these things, then I'm totally for it. I hope all you guys get wealthy, and everyone has a great lifestyle, and we can hedge against the future of. If we can do this, if we amass enough wealth, we can make changes enough to keep ourselves out of war. How about that? If nothing else, if you're doing good, you're not going to vote for war candidates. So
Well, the problem with war is
it's going to take your money.
Yeah, people lose, and only both sides make money on war.
Well, I like to reuse this reference. I watched the movie Ip Man, and it was Donnie Yen plays Master Ip, was a Wing Chun master, turn of the century, right? In like 1890, before the wars in China, he was a very wealthy, basically doctor, philosopher, teacher, kung fu guy, and during the war, World War One. I don't fucking know. I don't remember what was going on. I think there was a big takeover in China. The Europeans and the Japanese came through and kind of decimated a bunch of people. And anyways, his beautiful wealth was worth nothing after this, right? So it's really hard. Imagine how big of a nation we have and how much wealth that we have. If they change, all that wealth is for nothing. Even the richest people are peasants. So, they don't have to stay here. Of course, they could go somewhere else. But the rest of us, we wouldn't be able to. So I think the best thing to do is keep us away from war and, go back to work. If you're not working right now, get a fucking job. And I don't mean that because I'm a mean guy. I mean that because you'll be better. Everyone will be better. You'll be happier. You create more wealth for our country. You produce something. And that's what we need. We need to be productive. So, Russ, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate you sitting down and said, haven't done it in a while, so I had to get my sea legs back. So we'll try to keep doing this here like regularly. Just been working a lot, so. Yeah, all right, buddy.
All right.
Well, you guys have fun out there, and everyone has to love Shananigans.
Saga made it. Shenanigans. Shenanigans.